We enjoy wrestling.
Welcome to some bonus content for We Enjoy Wrestling. Bonus with, you want to say the name?
Bonus with Becky.
Bonus with Becky Lynch. That's right. Our special guest this week is the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. You will only hear me, Matt Fowler, interviewing her.
I sat there in silence. I was too
Eric
overwhelmed.
was present. He decided not to chime in at all. He just sat in I said, you sit in the corner and say nothing. Shut up.
No Becky for you.
I shot him glares, even though we're states away. I was like narrowing my eyes at him, giving him dirty looks. Don't you say a word. No, the thing is, and we did test this out. We tested it, both of us. If you know us from the channel surfing days, which I'm sure a few of you do, know that both of us are shit at technology. So in that regard, this whole Skype thing, this whole podcasting thing, trying to get better quality sound for both of us, trying to figure out the best way to do this, it's all a work in progress. Now, somebody calling in to an actual podcast is also new to us when it comes to them talking to just more than one of us. And it worked before. I did add Eric. We were testing it out. This time it did not work. It would not let me add him to the call, even though he was on Skype. So, Eric, I apologize.
Matt, I accept your apology. I know it's not your fault, unless this is all a lie, all a ruse. No, I know it's not. I'm sad. I love Becky. She's
I know you do. We both love Becky. Eric loves Becky too.
I would have talked about quinoa and puns, but it wasn't to be. So I'm sure you did us proud.
Well, obviously not, because I didn't talk about quinoa or puns. So.
well, okay. So that's for next time.
All right, I'm jotting that down. Okay, so for the rest of you, everyone listening, thank you so much. We're at the Matt Fowler on Twitter, the Eric Goldman on Twitter, WEW Podcast on Twitter. Listen to us on iTunes and SoundCloud and Stitcher and all that good stuff. And here is Becky Lynch.
And think of me while you listen.
I'm gone. Becky, so thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm a huge fan of what you're doing these days. As I'm sure.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure you hear that a lot. Ever since SummerSlam, there's been a real groundswell of even more support than usual, I feel. Heading into what do you feel? How do you feel the crowd is responding to you right now? What are you getting when you step into that ring?
A lot of support. A lot of support, and it's incredible. I think it's. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I think it's very easy to identify with the story that we've got going on here. You know, I think so many people have that feeling of frustration and being overlooked, and I think we've seen this for 3.5 years since I've been on WWE. It's been, you know, you get somewhere and then you get knocked down, you get somewhere, you get knocked down, you get somewhere, you get knocked down, you get somewhere big, like winning the title, and then you get knocked down, and then you stay down, but you're constantly trying to pull yourself up, and you're doing it with a smile on your face, and then you get knocked down again, you're doing it with a smile on your face, you get knocked down again, and then eventually you're like, to hell with this, I'm done, I'm sick of this, I've done the right thing. I've put up with everyone's crap, and I'm done. I'm over it. I'm the champ. I'm taking over this place. And you've had enough, and you snap, and you just go after what you want. I think anybody can identify with that. Anybody. And so I think why this is working is because it's so organic, right? That it didn't just happen overnight. It has been a 3.5 year build-up. It's not been a month build-up. It's not been 2 months. It's not been just a year. It's been 3.5 years. And even before that, it's been in NXT, you know. And I think I was talking to Mick Foley yesterday, and he said, you know, what was good about the Becky Lynch character is she never got to live out her dream of getting the title and all that kind of stuff in NXT, right? I never got the title in NXT. So we got to see me living it out here on WWE, and the fans have been into that and invested in that journey because it's all been real, right? And they feel that this is it's all coming off of real emotions. I think that's why it's so identifiable.
What's changed in you this title run compared, not storyline, but changed in you with your title run now compared to your first SmackDown Women's Championship run?
So the first one was almost, so I got drafted. I was the first woman drafted to SmackDown Live, and I wanted to make it a really good division, right? And I wanted to work with everybody, and I wanted to make sure that everybody was happy and everybody was on the same page, and that we made it the women's division to watch, right? And I was separated from the Four Horsewomen. It was finally my time to shine on my own and prove what I could do. But I was almost apologetic for everything, Like, I was like, oh, I'm sorry I won the title. Like I want everybody to win the title. Let's all be champions, You can't do that, You can't. And then I got knocked down, and it's taken 2 years to get back on top again. And so with that, I realized that you can't have that attitude, You've got to know that you deserve it and you earned it, and you can go out there and you can carry this show. And that's been my mindset now. When it's taken a while, it's taken a lot of work, a lot of mental clarity to get to that point, and to really believe in myself. And that's genuine. That's not a character thing. That's personal. That's Rebecca Quinn. Like, getting to that point of really believing in myself, and with that, of course, the character does that too. And you hold yourself to a different standard, and you raise your standards, and you realize now. And the other thing about having the title and losing it is, like, now I know just how much you cannot rest for a single second, and that's as a character and as a person, you can't. You've got to maintain your intensity and that feeling, because if you don't, then somebody's going to take it and somebody's going to sweep the rug from under you, and you can't let that happen.
Especially with everyone who's currently on the roster, and then every year you expect call-ups from NXT and new faces arriving. With Evolution and your match coming up, your last woman standing match coming up with Charlotte Flair, would you say that this is the most important match of your career, or does it feel as such?
Yeah, it does. It's got that big match feel, and it's about so this has all been a big build up, a big wonderful build up, but now it's about cementing that legacy and proving why I say I'm the best, and I am the best, and I am the man, and that I'm here to stay, and with such an event like Evolution being the first all-women's pay-per-view, you want to make sure that you've got the best match on that card. And hands down, we are going to have the best match on that card, and that you want to steal the show. And hands down, we're going to steal the show, and that you want to let people leave there thinking, "Holy crap! I just saw something." And that's what we're going to make them think. So what I'm going to make them think. So I'm going out of there the champ.
You had a really fun poster heading into Super Showdown about a month back, where you were front and center of the poster, standing tall over Charlotte Flair. Because you are putting yourself out there as not just the top of the women's division, but you are actually going in front of WWE as the top superstar, and I think that's something that's really important. I think it's really important, to not distinguish, if we are making the progress with the women's division, not to distinguish between the two, and that yes, you could be on the front like the Rocks and the Stone Colds of old. You could be that person and not just say headlining Evolution, but headlining any pay-per-view. How far off do you think that is, and will it come?
Absolutely. I see that right around the corner. That is exactly what I'm going for. And that's what I mean when I say I'm a man. And it's a state of mind, because that's one of the things that I've always, that I was going, who's the man? I'm the man. And you kind of tell yourself that over and over again, gender me down, It's not about being a woman or being a man. It's just about being the top dog. And And I think that's where we need to get to. That's my whole thing ever since I left home, ever since I came over to WWE. I wanted to make it indistinguishable, that it doesn't matter if you're a man, it doesn't matter if you're a woman. You've got to go out there and you've got to do good work. And you've got to get those people involved. And gender, race, anything, be damned. Man, woman, or child, because I'm looking at Nicholas as former champion. You've got to make the people... You got to make the people care. And if you can make the people care enough, then you should be in that top spot. Gender be damned.
Is Evolution, the type of pay-per-view that it is, an all-women's pay-per-view, something that can happen, obviously, more than once a year?
I think so. And I think it can happen accidentally.
Oh, good point. Good point, yeah.
Yeah. Because, of course, it's happening with the men, right? That accidentally, they've had all men's pay-per-views time and time again. Why couldn't that happen with the women? That just out of happenstance, that the women have so many great storylines going on that we can just, oh my God, I never realized there wasn't a guys match on here. Where did AJ go? Oh, he's not here today. And I think that could happen one day. I think we have enough. I think we have enough talent that could happen.
You mentioned
I look around.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned like all the different storylines that go on. Like if the women have enough good storylines, it could certainly fill a pay-per-view card. Do you think one of the reasons why, 2 years it took you to get back on top is because in the women's division, kind of if you're not in the title picture, you may not find yourself in some sort of storyline and you're just sort of floundering a bit?
A little bit. And luckily I've always been on, I've always managed to not go too long without having at least a match on TV. Maybe I haven't had a storyline, but I'd always be going out there doing something, be represented somehow, so people didn't completely forget about me. But it has been in the past sometimes hard, if you're not in the title picture, to get on TV. But nowadays we see that's kind of changed. We've got Lana talking about Milwaukee, and we've got Carmella going out there dancing with Truth, and we've got so a resurgence in her career, and then we've got the Iconics going out there cutting promos every week. And then going against Asuka and Naomi. So we see the women represented constantly, and I think that's a very good point to be at now.
Final question for you, Becky, and this is based on the conversation we just had. How long before you're the benchmark? Because right now people are saying to prove this proving ground match, this last woman standing match against Charlotte Flair, you have to win this to topple Charlotte, and then everyone's going to ask, what about Ronda Rousey? And the next person. When are they going to say, well, can you beat Becky?
Give it a week. But there we go. Give it a week and 2 days.
A week and 2 days. All right. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
I appreciate it so much. Thanks.
We enjoy wrestling.